Close to 600 men were ordained priests this year across the United States. That's according to a new study out of the Center for Applied Research in the Apostolate, also known as CARA, based at Georgetown University. The number of priests in recent years remains steady, but it's not enough to keep up with the demands of parishes across the country. In 1965, there were about 38,000 diocesan priests. Today, 26,000. Joining us now is Mary Gautier, a senior research associate at the Center for Applied Research in the Apostolate. That's at Georgetown University. You did this study. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. You specialize in Catholic demographic trends in the U.S. So the numbers in this study show a steady rate of ordained priests, but there are still not enough. What's happening?
Well, what's happening is we've got a steady supply, have had for the last 20 years, but it's only about a third to a half as many as we would need to compensate for the larger numbers of priests that are dying and retiring now because they entered the priesthood 40, 50 years ago.
What about the number of Catholics in the United States? Is that also a factor?
The number of Catholics continues to grow at 1% per year approximately. So we've got a lot more Catholics.
More demand, less supply, and retiring priests. Let's look at some other information that your study reveals. 70% of newly ordained priests are white, 14% Hispanic, 10% Asian Pacific Islander, 4% Black or African American, and 2% other. Does that reflect the Catholic Church in America?
It reflects the diversity of our Catholic population today, which is far more diverse than it was when the priests of 50 years ago were ordained. That's why the priesthood looks a lot more like the elderly Catholic population, while the younger priests look a lot more like Catholics today.
Your study says 4 in 5 priests were encouraged to consider their vocation by someone, most often a parish priest or a friend or another parishioner. I've tried with my son. It's not happening. What can we do to encourage more young men to join the priesthood?
Well, encouragement is important. In fact, the same study shows that these priests reported that on average they were encouraged by 4 different people to consider the priesthood. So the best thing we can do is if you see someone in your parish who you think would be a good priest, don't be quiet about that.
Don't be shy.
Speak up.
Right. My cousin, who lives in Ave Maria, Florida, has a little mini altar for her 3- and 4-year-old sons, and they practice. They have an uncle who's a priest, and they are already learning about the altar and all that goes on with it. So I'm thinking maybe that's a way, and that could be we could have a priest right there.
And another important motivator is knowing someone who's a priest or a religious. More than a third of these men had someone as a friend who's a priest or a religious. So invite them into your home. Help them to get to know your children.
That's a wonderful idea, too. Thank you so much for joining us. Mary Gautier, Senior Research Associate at the Center for Applied Research here in town at Georgetown University.
Thank you.